The story begins in a mental asylum, where a psychotic killer named Benjamin, also known as Benny, has been locked up for the past 17 years. People say that 17 years ago, this psycho brutally tortured and killed several people, including his own parents. He cut off their hands and legs, and even cut out their tongues. According to the doctor, Benny still believes he's a child, and every child needs a toy. But his toys are people's body parts. He cuts off people's hands and legs and plays with them. And for the past 17 years, he's been imprisoned in this asylum for that very crime. Today, Dr. Grave comes to visit Benny again. The doctor tries to talk to him. "Tell me whatever you're feeling, Benny. I'll help you understand how to fix it." But Benny refuses to speak. So Dr. Grave hands him a paper and a pencil, saying, "If you don't want to talk, that's fine. Just draw something instead." Benny starts drawing a man, a woman, and a little girl. Dr. Grave can't figure out whose family he's drawn. He asks, "Is this your family?" But Benny suddenly gets angry and starts scribbling all over the paper. The doctor tells him to stop. Benny then writes on the paper, "Will you play a game with me?" Dr. Grave is confused. What game does Benny want to play? Before he can figure it out, Benny attacks him. Within seconds, the doctor is knocked unconscious. When Dr. Grave wakes up a while later, he realizes his hands and legs are tied up. And of course, Benny is the one who did it. Now Benny tells the doctor, "How do you feel, doctor? Tell me. I'll treat you." Then, slowly, Benny begins to torture him. You remember Benny's favorite game, right? Cutting off people's hands and legs and playing with them. That's exactly what he does to the doctor. Benny starts cutting off his limbs one by one. The doctor screams in pain, but his mouth is gagged. No one can hear his cries. He keeps screaming helplessly while Benny cuts through every part of his body, pulling out his organs one after another. The doctor dies in agony, and now Benny is actually enjoying it. A little later, a nurse comes into the room, and Benny kills her too. He does the same thing to her that he did to the doctor. After that, Benny keeps killing every hospital staff member who enters that room. But after some time, a nurse named Sarah arrives. Sarah had secretly fallen in love with Benny, and Benny knew it. He also knew that Sarah was just like him. She was enjoying all of this too. Sarah tells him, "I'll clean everything up. You put on the clothes of that patient who's being discharged today. Take his ID card and get out of here. Call me tonight." Benny leaves, and Sarah starts cleaning up the whole hospital. No one knows that a psycho killer has escaped from the asylum. But do you really think he's going to hide after escaping? Number. Tomorrow night is Halloween, so everyone is busy getting ready for it, and no one has a clue that a psychopath is roaming their town. That psycho walks toward a house where a boy is making his Halloween costume. Before the poor guy can even react, the psycho kills him too, cuts off his hands and legs, then puts on his costume, a clown mask and a cap. Because of Halloween, everyone in the city is wearing similar costumes, so nobody realizes who the killer is. Gradually, news spreads all over town that there's a murderer on the loose. The police warn everyone to stay home and stay safe, but the people of the city take it lightly. And in this same city lives the main character of our story, Sarah. Sarah lives with her family, her brother Tommy and her father. Her mother left when she was a child, and no one really knows why. Some say she died in an accident. Others say she ran away with someone else. No one truly knows where she went. Since childhood, Sarah and Tommy have been raised by their father, and now they live a happy life. Tonight is Halloween, and both Sarah and Tommy are making their own plans for what they'll do during the celebration. But their dad tries to explain to them, "You guys saw the news, right? They're saying there's a psycho killer roaming around the city. So, if you're planning to go to any party tonight, please cancel it." But Cash and Tommy refuse to listen to their dad. After a while, they leave for college. Meanwhile, not too far from there, at the hospital, Sarah has already erased all the evidence. But she knows that sooner or later, everyone will find out that Benny escaped. So before any of the hospital staff can go to the police and reveal the truth, she decides she has to manipulate everyone. She goes to Eva, the head nurse, and explains, "If we tell anyone that Benny escaped from our asylum, everyone will point fingers at us. The hospital might even get shut down." Sarah convinces Eva that they should keep quiet and not tell anyone that the psycho killer roaming around the city is actually Benny. Sarah manipulates Eva so well that she reluctantly agrees to go along with her. As a result, the hospital doesn't report anything to the police, and the police have no idea that the psycho killer is actually Benny. Unaware of all this, Cash reaches her college. She's chatting with her friends, and everyone is super excited. Cash's best friend, Laura, is thrilled too, talking about what they'll wear, how they'll go, and how much fun they'll have at the party that night. Just then, another friend rushes over and says, "Hey, did you guys hear? They found a boy's body in the city. His hands and legs were cut off, and there's a rumor going around that a psycho killer is on the loose." Hearing this, Cash remembers what her dad said, but everyone still takes it as a joke. Laura tells her, "Don't pay attention to all that nonsense. In a bit, we'll grab some coffee and decide what we're gonna do for the party." Cash agrees. While Cash and her friends are getting ready for the party, Benny is wandering around the city, and no one knows that he's the psycho killer. Benny has already killed one boy, and now he's targeting another house. He breaks in. Inside, a girl lives there, and she suddenly feels like someone else is in the house. But before that poor girl could even realize what was happening, Benny grabs her and does the same thing he always does to his victims. He cuts off her hands and legs and kills her too. Then Benny leaves that place and starts roaming around the city. His eyes fall on a restaurant. And guess who's sitting inside that restaurant? Cash and her friend Laura. They're chatting about what they're going to do at the party tonight. But Benny is staring at Cash very carefully. Why? No one knows. Laura notices and tells Cash, "That weird guy has been staring at you for a while now." Both of them feel uneasy and decide to leave. Benny keeps watching Cash as she walks away. But why? Be patient. You'll find out soon enough. Now it's nighttime, and Cash is getting ready to go to the party. Just then, she notices her dad. He compliments her, saying, "You look exactly like your mom. You know, when she was young, she looked just like you." He shows Cash an old photo of himself and his wife. Cash looks at the picture, but then she notices something strange. In the background, there's a creepy-looking man staring at her mother in a disturbing way. Cash asks her dad, "Who's that man?" Her dad tells her, "There was this strange guy who was obsessed with your mom. People said he was madly in love with her and could do anything for her, but your mom never loved him. That's why she married me instead. We got married. But a few days later, news came that this man had killed his parents and even his neighbor. They say he cut off his parents' hands and legs, even their tongues." Wait a second. Doesn't that story sound familiar? Remember Benny's story? Cash then asks, "What was that man's name?" Her dad replies, "His name was Benjamin, or Benny." He also tells her, "To this day, I still suspect that Benny had something to do with your mother's disappearance, but I never had any proof." Cash is left speechless, not knowing what to think. Before she can say anything more to her father, Laura shows up, and she and Cash leave for the party. But they don't notice that Benny has already broken into their house. Cash's dad is cooking and has no idea that Benny is inside. Before he can even react, Benny kills his greatest enemy, slowly and painfully, until he finally dies. Unaware of all this, Tommy returns home. When he walks inside, he finds his father dead. Panicking, he calls his sister, but she's at the party. How could she possibly answer? Tommy knows he has to tell her somehow, so he heads to the party where Cash is. But before he gets there, Benny has already arrived and is watching Cash closely. There, Benny runs into a rude guy named Chris. Chris thinks Benny is just some random guy and pushes him, not realizing he's practically talking to death itself. Benny's next victim is Chris. He kills him too. Then Tommy finally reaches the party and spots Benny. He tries to follow him, but unfortunately, he doesn't survive either. Benny kills him as well. When Cash notices her brother arriving at the party and then suddenly disappearing, she gets suspicious and steps outside. A security guard is out there, but he becomes Benny's next victim. Benny kills the guard, and as Cash is searching for her brother, Benny sneaks up, knocks her unconscious, and takes her with him. But why did Benny knock Cash out instead of killing her? Let's find out. After some time, Cash wakes up. Her hands and legs are tied. Right in front of her stands the psycho killer himself, Benny. He's holding out severed hands, legs, and even someone's tongue. Cash screams, "Please let me go! Please!" That's when Benny shows her a locket. She recognizes it. It's the same one her mother used to wear in a photo. That means Benny is the one who killed her mother. Cass starts screaming, "Let me go! Please let me go!" But Benny refuses to release her. Seeing a chance, Cass frees her hands and legs and runs away. But will Benny really let her escape? Benny starts searching for Cass while Cass hides from him. After a while, Cass realizes that if she wants to survive, she has to kill Benny. She grabs a weapon and attacks him. Now Benny gets angry too. He wants to kill Cass. But this time, Cass's luck works in her favor. She kills Benny and immediately calls the police. A few moments later, the police arrive, along with Cass's mother. Cass is shocked to see her after so many years. And guess who her mother is? None other than Sarah, the nurse. Remember her? Yes, Sarah is Cass's mother. When everyone turns around, Benny's body is gone. That means Benny is still alive. Sarah then tells Cass the truth. The man you just killed wasn't a stranger. He was your father. You are Benny's and my daughter. I left my husband only for Benny. I did marry my husband, but soon I realized I only loved Benny. That's why I left everything and started working at the asylum. Cass is completely shattered by this revelation. Days pass, and one night, Sarah receives a call from Benny. She tells him, "I love you so much, Benny. And you know what? I told Cass everything. Our daughter will come live with us now. We'll be happy together. Just the three of us." Remember that painting Penny made in front of Dr. Grave? The one showing a father, a mother, and their daughter? Now it all makes sense. That painting was of Benny, Sarah, and Cass. That's why Benny had been staring at Cass so intensely in the coffee shop. Sarah pleads with Benny to come back, but Benny is furious at his daughter now, and maybe he'll even try to kill her. And that's where the story ends. But honestly, I think there should be a part 2. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.